Caitlin Clark has officially surpassed a 25-year record. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to record 200 or more points, 75 or more rebounds.
In today's sports world, few stories ignite as much passion as the debate over who truly deserves the spotlight in women's basketball. At the heart of the matter is a controversy that has set social media and sports commentary abuzz. Time magazine's latest pick for Woman of the Year in the realm of women's sports. While many expected an accolade for a player whose influence is undeniable, the decision to highlight one veteran over a groundbreaking rising star has divided fans, pundits, and former players alike. Here, at our Sport Pulse, we break down every facet of the debate, exploring the context, the impact, and what it means for the future of the sport. It all started with a seemingly simple announcement from a major publication. Time magazine, a long-standing arbiter of cultural and sporting trends, named A'ja Wilson as its Woman of the Year, in sports a choice that, to many, defied logic.
And 75 or more assists, doing so in just 15 games, beating Shannon Johnson's record of 16. This is just another way to prove that she is without a doubt a generational talent.
This decision came at a time when Caitlin Clark, widely recognized as a transformative figure in women's basketball, had dominated headlines and record books. Clark's influence isn't just measured by statistics, but by her ability to attract unprecedented attention to the game, drawing NBA-level viewership and making every match an event. Yet, instead of acknowledging this revolutionary figure, the magazine chose to elevate A'ja Wilson, a veteran whose contributions, while significant, have not been seen by many as equally transformative. To put it plainly, the decision has stirred an intense debate. When one of the sport's brightest new talents, who has carried an entire movement on her shoulders, is overlooked, what does that say about the criteria being used by mainstream media?
When you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on it.
Come on, tell them, A'ja, tell them.
Takes, like, whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades individually, like, I want to be up there in that.
The decision to bestow a coveted cover on A'ja Wilson is not simply a matter of selecting a safe candidate. It reflects deeper, systemic issues within sports media. For decades, influential institutions have often opted for the familiar, for personalities whose narratives are well established, even if those narratives don't capture the current zeitgeist. In this case, Time magazine appears to have chosen the veteran status quo over a revolutionary force. The irony is palpable. While Caitlin Clark has single-handedly redefined the contours of women's basketball, shattering long-held records and turning college hoops into must-watch television, the accolades and recognition continue to be reserved for those already in the spotlight. Wilson's supporters argue that her contributions on and off the court have made her a cornerstone of the sport. They cite her consistent performance, her leadership in challenging times, and her long career in the league. However, detractors, many of whom have watched Caitlin Clark break barriers at an almost historic pace, feel that this decision minimizes the extraordinary influence of a player who has not only changed the game, but also brought a new level of visibility to women's basketball. Caitlin Clark's ascent is nothing short of meteoric. Emerging as a phenomenon from college basketball, she quickly captured the attention of fans and analysts with her record-breaking performances. With every game, Clark is not only racking up points, rebounds, and assists at an unprecedented pace, but also drawing in viewers who might never have tuned into a women's basketball game before. Her impact has been so profound that NBA stars, celebrities, and sports networks are now openly celebrating the rise of this game changer. Her influence extends beyond mere numbers.
Time magazine's telling us that this isn't really the Women of the Year. These are the secondary citizens of the Women of the Year. At least when it comes to A'ja Wilson and Jordan Child.
Clark's presence on the court has redefined what it means to be a superstar in the WNBA. She embodies a new era of athleticism, determination, and marketability. Her style of play, marked by a fearless approach to scoring and an intuitive understanding of the game, has turned each match into a must-see event. In cities where basketball is more than a pastime, her games have become social gatherings, celebrated with the same fervor as major NBA matchups. Yet despite all this, her story has been overshadowed by what some consider a deliberate editorial choice. Time magazine's decision to skip over her achievements in favor of a more traditional candidate not only fuels the controversy, it also highlights the larger narrative of how breakthrough talent is sometimes sidelined by established media institutions. The influence of media in sports cannot be overstated. For decades, magazines, television networks, and online platforms have shaped the public's perception of athletes and their legacies. When a heavyweight like Time magazine makes a selection, it sends ripples throughout the sporting world, reinforcing certain narratives while undermining others. In this instance,
dear friend, Caitlin Clark did not make the cut. Folks, don't overreact, don't get angry, don't get frustrated. Don't be.
In contrast, A'ja Wilson's story, while noteworthy, is painted with a different brush. A respected veteran, Wilson has enjoyed a long career marked by steady performance and leadership. However, her accolades, as many argue, have not pushed the boundaries of what the sport can be. Critics point out that while Wilson's contributions have been significant over the years, they lack the transformative flair that defines a true revolutionary. The dichotomy between these two narratives is stark, and it is this contrast that has fueled the controversy. For those who have followed Caitlin Clark's journey from the earliest stages of her career, the disappointment is palpable. Her rise has been meteoric, and with every new achievement, she has shattered preconceived notions about what is possible in women's basketball. Yet the accolades and the public recognition she so richly deserves seem to be continually delayed or diminished by an establishment that clings to the past. This sense of injustice is felt deeply by fans, teammates, and analysts alike, all of whom recognize that the real story here is one of a pioneer being overshadowed by conventional wisdom. This isn't just an isolated incident, it's a reflection of the larger challenges facing the WNBA today. As the league continues to grow in popularity and financial clout, the pressure to attract mainstream attention has never been higher.
Surprised? I don't think anybody should be surprised by this. And this isn't A'ja Wilson's fault. This is just Time Magazine doing what Time Magazine does.
The transformation of women's basketball into a global phenomenon is built on the shoulders of players who are willing to push boundaries, defy expectations, and embrace change. Caitlin Clark is one such player, a beacon of innovation whose influence has elevated the sport to new heights. However, when mainstream media and influential institutions fail to acknowledge this paradigm shift, it sends a mixed message to fans and aspiring athletes alike. It reinforces the idea that tradition still holds sway over innovation, that the old guard is safer and more acceptable than the emerging stars. This is a dangerous narrative in a sport that thrives on progress and reinvention. The WNBA and sports in general need to celebrate those who are not afraid to redefine the game, even if it means shaking up long-established norms. Moreover, the controversy highlights a recurring theme in sports: the tension between popularity and merit. While A'ja Wilson may have the favor of certain veteran circles, the fact remains that Caitlin Clark's influence spans across demographics and even industries. Her ability to draw in viewers who might never have otherwise been interested in women's basketball is not merely a statistical anomaly, it is a clear indicator of her cultural impact. In today's media-driven world, where ratings and economic impact are key drivers of success, dismissing such influence is not only short-sighted, but also counterproductive to the sport's growth. No modern debate in sports would be complete without acknowledging the role of social media. In this era, platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok serve as the modern-day public square where fans, athletes, and analysts converge to share their opinions. The controversy surrounding Time Magazine's decision exploded across these platforms almost immediately.
Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible.
Fans of Caitlin Clark have taken to social media to express their discontent, while others have defended the choice on various grounds. The resulting discussion is as much about the dynamics of modern media as it is about basketball. Social media has given voice to those who might otherwise have remained silent. Fans are now able to articulate their support for a player who has not only dominated the game, but also broken down barriers in terms of representation and cultural relevance. Hashtags, trending topics, and viral clips of Clark's record-breaking performances have all contributed to a groundswell of support that challenges traditional narratives. Meanwhile, pundits and former players have weighed in, offering nuanced perspectives that highlight the irony of celebrating a veteran when the sport is being defined by a revolutionary talent. The digital age has democratized sports commentary, allowing every fan a chance to contribute to the conversation. This has led to a more vibrant, if sometimes cacophonous, discourse around issues of recognition, merit, and progress. At our Sport Pulse, we view this as a healthy sign of an engaged fan base that refuses to accept outdated narratives. The public outcry over the magazine's decision is not just a reaction to one editorial choice, it is a broader call for change, for a media landscape that truly reflects the dynamic and evolving nature of the game. One of the most striking aspects of the controversy is the apparent complacency of established institutions. For many longtime observers of women's basketball, the decision by Time magazine is emblematic of a reluctance.